I think I need to brush my teeth.
Hey, you all want to know something about college? It sucks! Okay, not really. It's not that bad. Except for the fact that it really is. You see, college is one of those things that you think you're gonna go into right after high school, and you're like, man, this is gonna be the life. Gonna meet these new people, leaving all that past stuff behind me, right? No. You go in there, you get like so many freaking books, like, for real, just too many books. I went straight into nursing, okay? Like, straight into freaking nursing. The nursing program, usually you have to go, like, 1 or 2 years of prerequisites, and then you gotta apply for the nursing program. I am very honored because I was lucky enough I applied into the nursing program as a freshman, and they accepted me, which means they think that I can handle it, which is really great, but now I'm starting to doubt myself because maybe I can't handle it, and it really kind of scares me. But, you know, oh well, I guess I'll figure that out in the end. See, I've been in college for about a month, I think. Yeah, something like that. And, well, this college that I go to, nursing program's great, but the college is very unorganized. For example, okay, when you go up to pay your bills, and they print out a receipt, and it lists you living in 2 counties over that you've never even lived in, because you've lived in 1 county all your life, and you're like, hey, why is this as my address? I don't live here. And they're just like, well, that's what they have you. And I'm like, okay, well, how'd that get on there? So then they send me over to admissions. And I'm like, hey, admissions, it says I live in Shelbyville. I live in Kentucky. It says I live in Shelbyville, but I've always lived in Frankfort all my life. And they're just like, oh, well, you're going to have to go over to, whatever, Bursar or something like that. So I go over to Bursar, and I'm just like, hey, Bursar, so I went over to cashier register. They say I live in Shelbyville, told me to go over to admissions, and they say to come to you. And he's like, okay, well, you're going to have to fill out this change of address. And I'm like, alright, well, address never changed, but sure, why not? So it's a okay day. I'm filling out this change of address. I hand it to him, and he's just like, it says you live in Shelbyville? And I'm just like, yeah. And he goes, well, it says you live 2 places in Louisville. What? How does it happen that in just like 2 minutes from when I left the cashier station, suddenly my address went from Shelbyville to 2 places in Louisville, and I've never lived anywhere but Frankfort? Like, okay, get your stuff together. I'm sorry, college. Oh, and another experience. Let's see. They didn't want to give me my scholarship. Okay, I got this scholarship, free tuition, whatever it covers, I don't know. My mom kind of handles that stuff, and I'm just like, I'm there. So I go over to the financial aid office, and I'm like, hey, my scholarship hasn't been applied. It's still saying I owe all this money, and I have a scholarship. Why isn't it there? They're just like, okay, just hang on for a minute. Alright. I'll wait an hour, and then finally the lady comes back up. She's like, you're not on the list. You made me wait an hour to tell me I'm not on the list. I know I'm not on the list. Why am I not on the list? So then she's like, well, you're going to have to go over to admissions. It's always freaking admissions. All right. So I go over to admissions. And I'm just like, hey, financial aid told me to come here because I'm not on the list for scholarships. And they're just like, okay, wait a minute. Now get this. They told me to wait a minute. There's like 3 little cubicle my hand. There's like 3 little cubicle cubbies there for them to sit at. There's 2 people there, and I'm the only person in there, and they're telling me to wait. I'm like, okay, I don't really say anything, so I just sit down. Even though I'm the only person there, I have to wait, but I just sit down anyways. Sit there, sitting. After 15 minutes, I ask, what am I waiting for? They're just like, oh, there's no one here to help you. Why? I mean, there's 2 of you. Oh, well, so-and-so went here, and so-and-so went here, and we can't do that. You just have to wait. Just wait for us. Okay. So I wait. And as I'm waiting there, after like 30 more minutes, now, I've been there already for an hour. This is 30 more minutes. I'm ready to go home because I'm off work. I just want to go eat like some chocolate shake and drown myself to sleep or something. the director of admissions walks by, and he's like, why are you still sitting here? And I'm just like, well, told me to wait. So I'm waiting. He's just like, well, okay, what's the problem? Dad, tell him my scholarship's not popping up. And he looks at him, he's like, you can do that. They can do that. Really. They can. And he's like, oh yeah. And she tells this woman to do jiggly stuff, I don't know, press buttons. She's like, oh, I didn't know I can do that. And I'm like, woman, you've been making me wait for like 30 more minutes and you can be doing that over there? And she's like, well, she's not on the list. I know I'm not on the freaking list, lady. Like, jeez. So then he's like, alright, so he gets my name and my student ID number and goes back and messes with some files. You want to know what he found out? So it starts to make sense why my addresses aren't coming up right, because he pulls out my file and it's not open. Yeah. Never opened my file. They didn't know where I lived. They didn't have any of my information. They didn't know I had a scholarship because my file wasn't open. So then I'm just like, okay. So he's like, alright, I'll get this done. Thank you, sir. I go home. I'm like, ah, ah, so like upset. And then my mom tells me that my cat died. And I'm like, ah! And so that was one of the worst days of my freaking life. There was too much stress going on. So yeah, that's freaking college. But also, another thing, nursing. If you think that you are for nursing, make sure you're really, really, really freaking positive that you want to do nursing. Because I'm starting to have these doubts, and maybe that's because I'm just self-conscious about a lot of stuff, but nursing's really freaking hard, and I'm taking the easier course apparently, and it's already freaking hard. You want to see how many books I have? I will freaking show you. Yeah, that's how many books I freaking have. Freaking books! And the only class I don't have books for is English, and that class is super easy and whatever, but I get paired in this group where this guy is hitting on me, and I'm just like, I don't like you, please stop it. He's 22 years old, he's really freaking creepy. My life is so freaking jacked up right now. There's college, and then I have work. My work's pretty okay. I have to deal with some people sometimes, but whatever. And then there's boys. And I've never really opened up about, well, yeah, actually I did on my Draw My Life video, but you all probably didn't watch that because it was like 21 minutes. Anyway, probably not a lot of people are watching this, so well. But boys, I have a problem with them. See, I always give this advice, like, hey, don't be upset if a guy doesn't like you. Being single's cool. One day you'll find him, but deep inside, I have that trouble too. And I don't know if it ever shows in some of my videos where I like sing about these romantic songs. I'm like, yeah. And I put on a front like I'm okay, but in reality, I don't really think I am. And it's just kind of upsetting because sometimes you get guy friends that you really, really like and they don't ever like you back. And when it just gets like that over and over, sometimes it really hurts. And then sometimes when they're just like, I just like you as a friend, you've just gotten so used to it where you're like, yeah, kind of figured that was going to happen. But anyways, that was my little rant. I don't know why I wanted to make this video, but yeah. So, you all have a great day. Ha ha!